Hey guys, welcome to Dreamcoin. It's Tyler again, and I'm just going to be bringing you a quick watch list for tomorrow going into February 22nd for some stocks you should be keeping your eye on. So just to get right into it, we're going to be starting with CCIV. I told you guys after I posted the video that I did yesterday that we would be looking at more of a technical analysis of it. So right now what we're looking at with CCIV, especially going between the end of market on Friday and after hours, we have a support around 52. Like I said, it seemed like people got their stop losses triggered on Friday, so the stock dropped a little bit, and then this obviously made the stock basically plummet around then, and then it started making a nice little rise back up. So if it follows this trend, I do see it pushing back up into the 60s. During pre-market, it could potentially hit that 60-65 range. We did have that crazy news come through that the merger could potentially be officially announced on Tuesday from the Bloomberg Insider Report. Make sure you check out that video if you haven't already. And so I could see it going up to 65 during pre-market, having a sharp sell-off right at market open, and then just with the amount of volume that's been coming into this, I could see this, if it tests that 65 range during market again and pushes that, I do see it rising up to 70. Now, do keep in mind that most of Friday, the stock was oversold based on RSI. So if you look down here, it was at like a 17, and anything under a 30 would generally be oversold for CCIV. So there were a few points where it was oversold and borderline oversold between average and oversold for most of the day. So that's something you want to keep your eye on for going there. As for it being with the VWAP, it was rising with that VWAP line again as we go through after hours. So it does seem like it's going to have this nice soft resistance line here around 55 based on where it's been previous days of market. So that's what we're going to be looking for through there. Now coming over to DSS, I told you guys about DSS a couple weeks ago, one of my first videos on the channel. And so what we're looking here is there's a harder support line around 4.220, as you can see throughout the last few market days, the last week or two. And obviously it would dip below a little bit, but those are kind of like your buy-in points is what I'd be looking at. And it's got like a softer kind of resistance where we want to try to push this 4.4 range for it to run. If it does push that 4.4 range, I could see it pushing the 4.7 to potentially 5 range later this week. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. It was on this downtrend, but it seems like it's coming back up, and I do see this moving a lot pre-market. As for HEPA, I was showing you guys a video on this the last week and a half and why I believe in them as a company, but short term, they are looking very promising for a nice few day swing. They do have a stronger support around 2.3, and I'm going to be looking for it to break 2.4 with strength to make a run towards 2.7 and 3.0 for the price. If it does break that 2.4, I don't see it stopping for a few days during this week, besides like a minor dips or pullbacks here and there. And it is on this pretty upward trend towards market close, disregarding after hours. So if this continues here, I do see it hitting that 2.4 potentially tomorrow. As for ZOM, it was starting an upward trend as well towards the end of the day. It had like a huge sell-off from beginning of market towards the end, and then it started rising again after hours. It was just kind of like getting back after the share offering that went through with ZOM, and they do have an earnings report coming up on March 3rd, so that's going to be a nice indication of where the stock's going to be going in the next few weeks. But we're going to be looking for it to try to retrace this line back up and reclaim where it's been the past few weeks and do this line. This would be a little more aggressive of a trend, but if it can follow something similar to this, it would be nice. It needs to break that 2.44 range to get a good bullish run start, and that's what we're going to be looking for. And it's looking to be heading as a gap up towards tomorrow morning. So, and this usually does run during pre-market a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if this potentially tests that 2.4 range to start in pre-market, but I'm going to be looking for it to push that during the main market day as well. And finally, we've got AIKI. It was doing a pretty significant upward trend after its share issuance that went through the past few days. It was over here for a while, and then they had that share issuance go through, and it kind of dwindled the last couple of days of the week last week, but it's heading back up now, and it does look like it's going to be on a nice trend going forward. It's got a harder support around 1.58 now and a softer support around 1.6. I'm going to be looking for it to push this line, and if it can go here and test that 1.7 range, I could see it potentially hitting that 2 range either Monday or Tuesday. If it hits that 2 range, I'm going to be looking for 2.5 to 3 by the end of the week. That's going to do it for me for the watch list video today, guys. I hope you got some valuable information and insight on where you want to look at for different things going in on Monday, and I hope you guys make out well for some profits going into market this week. I'll be getting a few more videos out this week on some stocks you should be keeping an eye on. I just posted one today on CTRM and why you should be checking them out long term. Other than that, I hope you guys had a good weekend, and I shall catch you guys in a video next time. Peace.